Hello to everybody who is joining us tonight on Pet Communication 101. I'm glad you're here, and this is exciting because we are going to cover the basics, which are key to actually doing any kind of telepathy or communication with your pet. So if you haven't ever communicated with your pet or you never thought you could, guess what? You can. We all have that God-given natural ability. So everyone who has made it, we are going to give you some great tips here. We are going to give you some homework. So be ready for homework. Let's see who's here. I see Cherry. Hi, Cherry. Hi, I see some other people too. Awesome. I'm not going to comment too much during this. I'm just going to get through all the information. And then if you have any questions or whatever, we can post those. You guys can post those and I'll answer them probably next week or maybe in between class. So, like I said, welcome everybody to Pet Communication 101. We're going to teach you and going to break down and teach you some key elements and tools you need to sharpen your intuition and communicate with animals. We are all born with the ability to use our own telepathy and intuition to communicate with animals as well as people. We're all born with this ability, and we can send and receive messages with our mind from, like I said, both animals and humans. This is done by mainly using our right brain hemisphere. That's where all the creative, intuitive stuff comes from. Our brains are frequency receivers, like antennas. Just because you can't see a thought or a message signal physically doesn't mean they don't exist. Similar to energy frequencies that you cannot see, such as electricity, digital Wi-Fi signals, radio signals, which we all use every day, we too are sending out invisible frequencies with our bodies, our consciousness, and our energy fields that pick up and receive sensitive vibrational signals, which you may or may not even be aware of. These frequencies include intuition, telepathy, clairvoyance, ESP, remote viewing, even just your chakra energy, your chakra energy, channeling, a whole host of different ways that people use their vibrational energy and their consciousness, and it all somehow intermingles with your brain. And when you slow down those brain waves and you breathe, and you get in the right frame of mind, there's a lot of amazing things that can actually occur. And that's what we're going to try to achieve with this class. So in modern day society, we are taught to shut off our right brains most of the time and all those abilities and focus on our left brain thinking. Our left side of our brain, that hemisphere, mainly deals with thinking. They keep us in a gamma state of mind most of the time. I'm going to say they, but the world operates that way. When you're in school and when you're at work, you're in a gamma state of mind where the brain waves are actually faster and in a learning state. But also, that can lead to overstimulation. It can cause hyperactivity, and it can cause stress. And we all know that we get in that chaotic state of mind where it's just racing, and we're like, you got too many things going on. That's when you're in that gamma state of mind. That is not going to work when you want to communicate with pets or humans or be intuitive or use telepathy. That is just not the right kind of brain state that we want. However, the right brain uses a calmer, slower brain wave. And this state is where those abilities like telepathy and channeling actually occur. That is your right brain where you're creative. You're not really thinking. You're kind of daydreaming or dreaming, and you kind of let go. That's the right brain. That's where we want to be when we are communicating with our animals. So how do we start using the slower brainwave frequency pattern? And how do we get there? You're probably thinking, how do we do this? This is something that we all, like I said, were born with, and it's a God-given natural ability. So here are a few tips that we're not going to delve into too deeply, but they are definitely worth mentioning in this class because they are important to the big picture of being able to use telepathy. There's some people that don't follow these rules, and they still are like masters at telepathy. But I believe if you want to open your third eye, your pineal gland, and you want to detoxify your body, these are just a few things I want to mention. The diet. We are all bombarded by processed foods, including wheat and flour, and they're found in almost everything you can possibly imagine, from bread to pasta to, oh my God, the processed sugars, of course, whether you get bleached or even organic brown ones, they're all bad. Plain and simple. Sugars and both carbohydrates, which are your flours, they metabolize in your body actually the exact same way. So what can happen is they spike your insulin, and if you're eating them all the time, you're going to probably end up not only being overweight, but spiking your insulin, which is going to cause some diabetes issues, and actually high cholesterol. They don't tell you that, but it's true. Also, another kind of sugar form is high fructose corn syrup. This is found in all kinds of things, and it's terrible for you. Any kind of food, I would say, in a bag, a box, anything like that, which is a natural, all contain preservatives, terrible for you. Food colors, terrible for you, and any kind of chemical. Try to stay away from them. I know that we all eat them, and it's hard, but the more organic you can go, non-GMO you can go, the better for your body, for your health, and also for, your ability to use your telepathy in your third eye, because that's kind of what you're going to do, a lot of focusing with. Also, I want to mention fluoride. Fluoride is found in our drinking water, in the municipal water, and it has been for years and years and years. It's a fact that it decalcifies the pineal gland. It's just bad for you. Even like the gallons of water that you get, I know they say there's spring water and this and that. Actually, the only one that doesn't contain fluoride is distilled water. That's all I drink, actually. Or if you happen to live somewhere where they have well water, you're probably pretty safe there too. So fluoride is also found in toothpaste, mouthwashes, antidepressants. If you have a prescription from a doctor for something like fluoxetine, I know I was on it for a while. Another name for that is, what am I thinking here? It's got a main name. I thought of it earlier. Of course, now I forgot. Anyway, it actually has a lot of fluoride, which is, going to calcify your pineal gland. There's a lot of natural alternatives. Of course, the pharmaceutical world doesn't like to tell you about those. But some people have to be on antidepressants. There's no way around it. I was lucky. I was able to not be on them, and I'm doing great. So, also, there's aluminums, which are found as another kind of metal, which is bad for us. It's found in deodorants, baking powders, and chemtrails. I'm a big believer in chemtrails, and they release a lot of chemicals, the geoengineering of the weather. That's a whole other story. Table salt used to have iodine. They used to add that, but now I've heard that they actually add bromine instead, which is another metal. Also, fluoride, I want to get back to, they actually have proven that it lowers the IQ of children. Metals cause Alzheimer's, autism, calcification of the pineal gland, and they are purposely used to shut off our right brain abilities. And I don't believe this is a coincidence, but you can form your own opinions on this. So, food for thought. The items I just mentioned are all not natural. They're just not natural to our bodies. When we were ancient hunters and gatherers for thousands and thousands of years, we ate none of these things. We didn't eat preservatives. We didn't eat dyes. We weren't eating processed flours. Actually, the Romans, I believe, were the ones that started processing wheat. Prior to that, we didn't have any of that. The white sugar was not processed. They had sugar cane. Not everybody even ate sugar cane. There are studies showing that actually native groups, more recently, who were healthy before they started eating their diets, they were kind of left alone in the world. They were very healthy. They had no cancers, no diabetes, no high blood pressure, no cholesterol. But when they were started to be introduced to our kind of diet we have in North America, they actually all began having these really high risks. You can find these studies. They're online. There's documentaries about it. So likewise, our ancestors appear to have had better intuition and abilities just by looking at any of the ancient temples, pyramids, mystic schools, ancient mysticism, astrology, Mayan calendars, ancient tablets, scriptures. They all came from long ago, dating back to thousands of years ago, and they were all using their telepathy and different, intuitions to communicate to the higher gods, the higher powers, the higher oneness. they knew all this, and we're just learning about it now. I mean, it's all documented. It appears that they knew this, and we were just learning, we really are been learning about it in the past couple hundred years, Something is very backwards here if you think about it, and it's like we are now just waking up to what the ancients have already known for so very long. It's like it was all hidden from us, and it's time we take back our natural abilities and use them to connect to those we love, or to use them to heal others, or by using, our hearts as well to do that. So breathing is the first topic in this 3-part series called Just Breathe. And breathing, we stay alive by breathing, but even still, breathing is so important in so many ways. It's amazing, especially deep breathing. We're not just talking about taking a breath. We're talking about like a long, deep breath where you're filling up your lungs, you're using your diaphragm, you can use your stomach in some instances as well. Breathing and our mind are actually entwined. They work together, the breathing and the brain. So the brain, when we're talking about the brain waves, the state of mind that we want to get into, when you breathe deep, you are actually slowing down those brain wave states, or the brain wave patterns, and that's going to help you create the state of mind we need when we meditate and when we connect with using telepathy with our pets or other people. Okay, so it only makes sense that we will focus on deep breathing techniques in this class. So to put us in touch with our inner self and our pets. So intuition and telepathy are all about the connection we make with our inner self, but also with the connection we are making with God or the higher power, which is all in all of us. In India, the belief there is that God is in each of us. And if we all believe that God is in each of us, I think we'd all treat each other better if we could remember that. Even though we're all separate physical beings, we are all also one being, as in, like our consciousness and our souls. Okay, so animals are very sensitive to the subtle energies that we give off and will instinctively gravitate toward a person who is calm and centered. Think of Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer. The energy, around him and people like him, they're giving off is a vibration or a vibe that says, hey, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, I'm centered, I'm grounded, and I'm in this moment. And that's important, to be in the moment whenever you can, not always, wandering off thinking about the future, thinking about the past. We want to be in this moment. It's happening right now, like every second. And when you meditate and you're doing that deep breathing, the key there, and we're going to dive into that probably in the 3rd week, is to kind of create a recording in your mind that's live, kind of like this Facebook event. You're living in this moment right now. You're living in this moment right now. Everything's live. You're listening to the sounds, and you're, out there. You're not focusing on all these thoughts, this chatter, worry. That's what we do. So anyway, do you tend to hold your breath when you are nervous or stressed? I know I do. I do it even when I am doing a class like this. I get nervous and I'm like, I'm like tense. And I think we all do it. You probably don't realize it, but you probably do it too. And if you find yourself angry or stressed out, you are definitely not breathing deeply. And your pet will also be affected by your stressful energy. They are so connected to the ones they love, and they know when we're stressed, and they pick up on this, and they create behavioral issues, and our health goes bad. We don't realize how much our mood affects them. So if we take care of our own self, we are going to make their lives better. So as you make it a conscious habit to breathe more deeply, like a lot more often than you probably do now, your pet will naturally be drawn to your higher vibration. So breathing deeply will calm your mind. That's number 1. Relax your body as well as your pet's body. That's 3 really, really big things. It will also relieve any tension while increasing your physical energy. That's a plus. And your mental focus. And you're going to need mental focus. And this kind of mental focus, it could be for thinking as well. But this mental focus is going to be where you're going to be using your right brain to calm yourself. And when you're calm, you're going to be able to use your telepathy. Okay, so, like I said, it's also great for your health. You have oxygen coming through the breath, which is the life-giving energy for every cell in your body and your pet's body. So as you're taking those deep breaths, you are doing a lot for yourself and your pet's body. So you'll be helping yourself and you'll be helping your pet. What a great gift you're giving them for just practicing the act of deep breathing. I mean, honestly, it's worth it. If you love your pet or your pets, I think it's worth it that we take the time to deep breathe, not only for ourselves and our own well-being, but also for our pets. And not only that, but you're going to learn then, you're going to be one step closer to learning how to connect intuitively, telepathically, if you can learn all these basic steps, which you will. So now to achieve a brain frequency state, which is the other half, when I said, brain, I said mind and breathing are intertwined. The brain frequency that is perfect for achieving telepathic communication, we will need to use deep breathing to reach this state, which is also a meditative state of mind. We're going to literally tune our mind to the electromagnetic frequency of our pet's mind, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to tune into their frequency, or another person's frequency, whatever you want to do. But because this class we're focused on pets, that's what we're going to be doing. So now to achieve a brain frequency state that is perfect for achieving telepathic communication, we're literally, okay, I said that. We want to teach the theta brain state during our breathing and our deep breathing and our meditative practices to use so that we can use our intuition and our visualization, which are both going to be possible in this slower brainwave state, okay? Like I said, we don't want to be in that thinking fast brainwave state where we're thinking and we're like really fast, okay? We want to be in this slower state of mind where we're calm. This is a very calm state of mind where your thinking mind is going to stop and you're going to allow your intuition to be free, okay? In this frame of mind, you're relaxed, you're calm. You've done your deep breathing, you probably have your eyes closed, you're going to be in a quiet space where no one's interrupting you, okay? You're probably going to be meditating. And this is that frame of mind where you're creative, you can fantasize, you're going to allow visions to come in. You're allowing anything to happen in your mind. You're free, okay? You're not like controlled by this other brain like, oh, no, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't think about that right now. No, it's not going to happen. It's always that negative voice. That's that thinking voice. We don't want that. We're going to stop that from happening, okay? So you won't be thinking much during this meditative brain state called the theta brain state. There won't be any constant chattering like you would normally have going on in your mind. That constant chattering is like if you're meditating or trying to meditate and you're like, or even if you're laying in bed and you're like, okay, tomorrow I have to do this. Oh God, I look so fat in that outfit I want to wear tomorrow. I hate that. That's what needs to stop when you're meditating, and it's definitely possible. So if you're not a big meditator, we're going to try to help you learn to be. It is possible. We have a technique I'm going to show you at the end of this class, and I think you're going to like it. It's very, very, it works well. All right, so breathing techniques. Let's get back to that. Here is step one. Let's cover deep breathing. And we want to deep breathe by using a repetitive breathing technique. There are many out there, and that could be your choice, but I'm going to give you a couple recommendations because, I have a couple that I've used and I think they're key. And we're going to include one by Trisha Carr. It's going to be an MP3, and it's all about deep breathing, and it's a very quick meditation. I highly recommend giving it a shot, and that is going to be one of your homework assignments. So find it listed here when we're done. Download it and give it a shot. You will love it. I guarantee it. I love this meditation piece that Trisha Carr has put together. And if you don't know who Trisha Carr is, she is actually one of my mentors, and I took her pet communication class. She is a very gifted, very talented, very loving woman, and she has actually given us this meditation for people to use. So like I said, deep breathing you want to use a repetitive breathing technique. It's going to easily calm and clear your mind and prepare you for grounding and meditation, which are the next two steps in our classes, with learning a breathing technique that works for you and gives you good results. That's key. You will need to make this a routine. I don't care how busy you are. Just do it before you go to bed. I find that the easiest way. If you're lucky enough to be able to do it in the morning before you go to work, they say that's one of the best ways as well, because you're already in a slow brainwave state when you wake up in the morning. I like to do it before I go to bed because it helps me calm down and clear my mind, and I find it so much easier to fall asleep. you're going to need to make it a routine. It's just something you're going to end up loving. If you're not already someone who meditates, you're going to love it. So we need to turn off that thinking mind, that left brain dominated side, which is the thinking part of your brain, so that we can prepare for meditation and then connect telepathically with our pets. That's what we were here for. We also want to use deep breathing as an opportunity to bond with our pets once a day. And leads me to the next part. I'm going to show you a video that I put together. It's nothing huge, but it's just a really easy 5-minute technique that I highly recommend you do with your pet, not only to learn to breathe. You're going to be breathing with your pet, and you're actually going to be bonding with your pet. You're also going to be outside if possible. Like if you have a dog, this is super easy. If you have a cat, don't worry about it. If you have a horse, you're going to be outside. There's some pets, obviously, you can't really get out in nature with, but if you have an animal that you can, just take that 5 minutes. It's so worth it. Breathe with your animal together. So breathing expands your relationship with your pet, okay? I mentioned how deep breathing helps you relax and change your vibrational energy as well as your pet's. Well, it also connects your spirits and allows you to communicate and to flow more easily between you, and that's what we want. So because you are establishing a common vibration, you can be on that same level where we can tune in together with them. So if we're together in nature, 5 minutes in your backyard, breathing together, bonding. I love the idea of taking a few minutes every day and breathing together with our pets. If you have, like I said, if you have the kind of dog or cat or whatever animal you could do this with, I think it's ideal. Even if you can, just take a few minutes, walk together in the grass, take a few deep breaths, look into your pet's eyes, even if you can. Also, I think if you don't have rubber in your shoes, you're going to be touching the earth better and picking up that natural resonance called the Schumann resonance. If you can't get on the grass and actually sit there, you can use a wooden chair, you can use a cotton towel, but I think really getting away from those rubber-soled shoes is going to really make a difference for a lot of people. So I'm just saying, just take a quick and easy moment to do a quick meditative, calming, bonding moment with your pet. So here we're going to show you a video really quickly, and then we'll come back and I'll do some more talking. So here is our video. Today we are going to teach you 2 very easy steps to take to start doing some communication with your pet. The first one is to take just a couple minutes each day, if you can, and pick a spot in your yard and literally breathe and ground with your pet. I chose this part of my yard because my dog tends to go by this big old tree, basically because he loves sticks, and there's plenty of them over in this corner. So I chose over here, and he, pretty much gravitated over here to me. So we're going to ground, where we're literally going to sit in the grass with our pet for a couple minutes. The reason we're doing this is because most of our shoes have rubber on the bottom, which I feel interferes with the tuning and frequency of the resonance, the natural Schumann resonance of the earth. So if you just put your butt down on the grass, not concrete, cement or anything like that, literally get your butt on the grass, and you're going to be tuning into that frequency of the Schumann resonance. And that's what we want to do with our pet. Our pets are always doing that because they don't wear shoes usually. So we're going to do this. We're going to take a few minutes. We want to take some deep breaths in. Close your eyes if you can. We want to just take in the sounds of nature, clear our cluttery minds from all the clutter and thoughts and crap that went on in the day, or if it's the middle of your day, or if it's your morning, you can do this in the morning, or you can do it after work. Take a second. You can see as I'm relaxing, he's actually starting to kind of relax too. And if you have him, if you can look him in the eyes, that's great too. You can touch him. Take that deep breath. We give you a couple different techniques you can use. There's Trisha Carr's, which I really love, the meditation, the light root scan meditation, where you take, you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold that breath for 7, and then you're going to release it for a nice slow 8 seconds. You're going to want to do that 3 times. The other technique you can do is inhaling for 5 seconds, holding it for 5 seconds, and then releasing it for 5 seconds. You're going to do it 5 times, whatever you want to do. And if you don't have time to do either one, just at least close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, ground, When you're grounding, and you can do this while you're breathing, you want to envision that you have roots growing from your tailbone and your bottom and your feet while you're sitting here in the grass. You can also envision your pet with those roots as well. Those roots are going to literally envision them growing from you into the grass, into the ground, and anchoring into Mother Gaia. This technique is done when people meditate, and it's done so that you feel that you are grounding and you're centered. And you want to do this while you're breathing if you can. So you want to combine the breathing with the grounding techniques. And if you have your dog next to you, that's even better, even if it's just for part of the time. While you're breathing and touching him, then that's perfect. And then from there, start your day. So those are your 2 techniques. Try them out, and I want you to try to do it every day. And again, watch that rubber on your shoes, because it's not really going to be a true grounding technique to me with your rubber on your shoes. So if you can get out here and really just, you'll feel the difference really if you sit in the grass versus standing in your yard. I just feel a lot more in tune with the natural vibration of the earth, or maybe even just more of a relaxed feeling. You're really going to feel the difference, and I think all of us need that every day, because there's so many different frequencies in the air. I mean, you're getting it from your Wi-Fi, you're getting it from your cell phones. There's so many different things going on, and God knows what else you're getting these frequencies from. So just kind of getting back in touch with the natural frequency of the earth and doing that with your dog. It's so special, and those are the first 2 steps you want to take: the breathing and the grounding and bonding with your dog. So actually it's 3 steps. Those are what you're going to want to do to open the way for pet communication to take place. So this is our first step. Stay tuned, because we are going to show you how to proceed to actually facilitating and creating those images so that you 2 are going to bond, and you're going to be able to literally hear those images. And yes, we all can do it. We all can do it. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're back, and you saw my little video I made in the backyard with my puppy. And like I say, if you can just get out there. I know the weather is getting cold in many climates, but even still, sorry, we have a train going by. It's important to take that moment to bond with your pet, especially if you need to start practicing some deep breathing, which we all need to do. It needs to become part of our life, and if you can do it with your pet, it's even more important, because you're gonna, get in tune with that vibrational frequency that you need to. All right, so like I was saying, you're able to resonate with the natural healing vibration of the earth's natural energy and get in sync together, taking this opportunity to open your heart and be more receptive to anything your pet may have to say to you through their eyes, their body language, or intuitively. Breathing together is a perfect way to bond and be together in the moment. I think it's awesome if you can do that. I tried to do it with my dog, and he's a puppy. Sometimes it works, sometimes, he's kind of all doing his own thing. But 9 times out of 10, if I go into that corner by the tree and just relax, he comes over and he starts to chill. So that's what we want. So the next thing I want to talk about quickly here is meditation, because we are going to learn in future classes a little bit. And I'm going to give you some information at the end of this video about some apps and different YouTube videos that I find really easy. They're guided meditation and things like that. So meditation styles, I wanted to mention this. A lot of people think when they first get started, oh my God, and I used to think this too, I gotta sit in this crazy yoga pose and try to meditate. Are you kidding? My back's killing me, and that's all I can think about. You do not have to sit in a yoga pose, okay? You can sit in a chair and be comfortable. You can lie down and meditate. I lie down all the time and meditate. There is no rule you're not going to have a better meditation just because you're in this crazy pretzel yoga pose, okay? If you get to that level and that works for you, that's great, okay? But you don't have to do that. All right, so like I think I mentioned already, when I first started meditating, the idea for me was to think of my mind as a recording live in the moment, in the here and now session. And anytime my mind started wandering off, I kind of kept this frame of mind where it's live now, and that's the frame of mind I want. Everything's live now, and you're living in that moment, and you really should try to do that all the time. But when you're first starting to meditate, I think it's a really great way of doing it. You aren't thinking of things from the past. You aren't thinking things about the future. It's like this Facebook Live. So you start recording life as you are meditating it, okay? And so as the recording is rolling, as time happens in real time, so you want to keep that frame of mind while you're meditating. You're going to try to control your mind as it wanders. You want to go back into that live mode. It's like live mode, I guess is the best way I can describe it. You just sort of stay focused on listening maybe to the sounds in the room you're in. It could be, maybe somebody makes a noise in the other room. Okay, that's live. It's live. It's happening now. It's like you're recording it live, If you're listening to a guided meditation, then you're listening to the person's voice and the instructions in the moment. So it's kind of the same thing, okay? Okay, so back to the brain waves during meditation. Again, we want to get to the lower, slower brain waves that we would have on our right side of our brain, okay? So a simple meditation can be used when the brain waves are in a relaxed normal state, which is called the beta or the alpha brain waves. And then take them to the theta state. That's where we want to be, okay, when we get to this meditative, telepathic state of mind. And after you meditate, then you want to, try to connect with a pet. That's when people start to do a reading for a pet, when they're going to connect with a pet or a person. You want to be in that theta state of mind. If this is done, this can be done by focusing on the breath. That is key. It's the breath. It's all about the breath. So anyway, the breath and the mind, like I said, work in tandem. So as the breath begins to lengthen, the deeper, the lengthen, okay, the brain waves begin to slow down to that theta state. So that's why the more kind of breaths you can take deeply and hold them, then release them, and repetitively do that, you're slowing those brain waves down where you're not going to be thinking as much. It gets so much easier then, okay? So if you aren't feeling relaxed when you're ready to meditate, then you probably are in that gamma wave state, which I talked about. That's our thinking wave state, where you might be at work and you're thinking, you're on the go, you're like, I'm juggling, I'm multitasking, and I'm alive, you know what I mean? So that's the gamma wave state. This is when you feel overstimulated too. You can feel hyperactive or stressed out in that state of mind. So this is too high of a wave state for your brain to start to relax and meditate in, okay? So you're going to need to breathe. Breathing is key here, and it will help you bring your heart rate down. It will help your brain waves to a slower state, all right? So if you aren't, okay. All right, let me take a drink here really quick. So let's see. The theta state. Now this is our ideal state of mind when we are relaxed. We're being able to maybe visualize things, see things, hear things. We aren't focusing on anything. We're like letting go, okay? We're just in that creative frame of mind, okay? This is where we're able to begin meditation. This is a point where the verbal thinking mind transitions to the meditative visual mind. We begin to move from planning mind, so you're not planning all this stuff, into a deeper state of awareness. Often you kind of feel drowsy, you're relaxed, you're not sleeping, but you're drowsy. Just so you have stronger intuition in this frame of mind, in the theta state of mind, and it's associated, like I said, with visualization. So when you are reading and connecting with a pet, you're actually able to, some people are able to see visual messages from a pet. They can send them to you telepathically. Okay, so this is when you can start to increase visual images while meditating a lot easier in this state of mind. The delta state, which is even slower than that, the theta, is mainly attainable by the Tibetan monks who meditate constantly, and they've been meditating for decades and decades, and they can reach this in an alert, wakened phase. But most of us reach this final state during sleep, and it's when you're not dreaming. So don't worry about getting to that state. Most of us probably don't, and it's not necessary to get to this state when you're awake and doing telepathy or any of that kind of stuff. So I just thought I'd mention it. So that, like I said, at the end, we're going to give you some really great apps that you can put on your phone for guided meditation, or just meditation with music. There's also YouTube is a great source for guided meditations and different things like that. Two that I highly recommend is Solar Anra. She does a lot of channeling from different people from different planets. I know it sounds crazy, but it's awesome. And I love her stuff. I really find that I get to that state that we want, the Theta State, and I will start to visualize things, and I feel like my head will start to tingle, or my body parts will tingle. Like I feel like my chakras are actually aligning. So I think she's highly effective. Another one is Steve Noble, Nobel. He's got, I swear to you, thousands of meditations and even affirmations, and they just hit everything that's important when it comes to meditating. I highly recommend him as well, or at least try these two out, see what you think. There's also, you can do singing bowls. They have singing bowls, different frequencies, which are kind of awesome. There's so many different things that we can try, and we can go deeper into this. Also, if you have some that you love and you've tried, share them in this event, or comment on that and share it with everybody else, see what they think. We're not going to cover too much with grounding. That'll be in next week's class. That's also another key when you're meditating, or even doing deep breathing. So we're not going to do that. I do have one more thing I'm going to share with you, and I need a second here, so hold on 1 second. Okay, so I just wanted to grab something I have here. This is going to be another homework assignment, and this is going to help you with your breathing. And if you've never meditated, this is another great way to start to focus. So what you're going to need is called the Monkey Mind Ritual. I'm taking it out of a book I have here. Whoops. The Crystal Muse is my book. I can tell you more about that if you're interested. It's called the Monkey Mind Ritual. So you're going to need a mason jar, and you're going to fill that with water, and you're going to need 1 spoonful of dirt. Now here, I live in the Midwest, and it rained today, and so I tried using, it was like muddy soil, and I did try a spoonful, which they recommend, and it was too much. It turned the whole mason jar black. We don't want that. We want the water to mainly be clear, and we want to be able to see the little pieces of soil. So I ended up using a tiny little amount of soil, and I added it to the water. You can fill the jar up pretty high. If you live in a place where there's sand, sandy kind of gravelly stuff, you can try that. We just don't want it to be too heavy. So anyway, this is an 11-minute ritual that we're going to do that's going to teach us how to get in the right frame of mind and not be chattering away in our brain. So the monkey mind is a Buddhist metaphor that describes the natural, chaotic state of our untrained minds. The following ritual creates a visual representation of your mind to help you understand the difference between a calm mind and a chaotic one. When you're learning to meditate, this visual helps you understand how easily the mind becomes distracted. So what you'll need, like I said, 1 mason jar, maybe half teaspoon of dirt. All right, so the ritual steps are this. Observe the clarity of the water in your mason jar. It's clear and free, with nothing muddy at all in there. Now add your dirt to the water. The dirt represents your thoughts, feelings, fears, and worries. Tighten the lid on the jar and shake it up vigorously. This represents how your thoughts and feelings are at a constant state of motion. So every piece of dirt in there is like a thought in your brain. So now take a moment to reflect on how this jar is similar to the endless chatter and movement in your brain. Like I just said, take a few minutes and look and think, oh my God, those are like all my thoughts, crazy mind in there, And then what I want you to do is I want you to breathe. I want you to take a deep breath. And then I want you to watch the dirt slowly settle to the bottom. Okay? Pick one, whatever one you want, and I want you to breathe. Watch that dirt settle. And I want you to breathe. Watch the dirt settle. And breathe. This is your focus point of attention. Watching the dirt settle, breathe, watching the dirt settle. Pick one if you want, watch it settle. When you're doing this, you're focusing on the dirt, not your thoughts in your mind. Okay, so every time your mind becomes hijacked by another thought, idea, or feeling, you have to shake that mason jar and start over. Yep, you heard me. So you go back to your point of attention, watching the dirt settle, and breathing. If another thought, idea, or feeling comes into your mind, guess what? You're shaking that jar again. So this is what we're going to do. And don't forget to breathe. Breathing,
breathing and breathing. Repeat steps 1 through 6. Okay, so you're going to continue this exercise for 11 minutes, okay? Then repeat steps 1 through 6 whenever you feel as if you're in a state of chaos. This is something really great to practice when you're in that frame of mind. Okay, so last thing we're going to cover before this ends really quickly is a couple breathing techniques. I showed you the one in the video, which was a quick one, really quick, but yet effective. 5 minutes outside with your dog. Another one is covered in the Trisha Carr meditation. We want to do repetitive breathing. So basically what we're going to do, and you don't have to be meditating, but your breath, you want to repetitively deep breathe. So what Trisha shows is she takes 4 seconds, and you want to inhale deeply and close your eyes. So you're going to inhale, and then you're going to hold it for 7 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and release for 8. Repeat, inhale for 4. Hold it for 7. I'm talking, but you don't need to. And release. I want you to repeat this 3 times, okay? That's the technique. That's going to slow your heart rate down, and it's great. And like I said, it's in Trisha's book. I mean, not her book, her MP3. I just had a book. Another technique that I think is really effective that I've tried is the 5 for 5, I believe it's called. It could be 5 for 5 for 5. So you're going to inhale for 5 seconds. I didn't do it. Okay, so you inhale for 5 seconds. And then you're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then you're going to release it slowly for 5 seconds. And you're going to repeat it. Have your eyes closed, of course. And you're going to do this 5 times. That's another great technique. So I want you to practice these techniques with your eyes closed. And a lot of these guided meditations that you can find on YouTube or on these apps will have you breathe anyway, but I would like you to try some that we're talking about here. So give that a try, and then we'll meet again next week, and we'll talk more about grounding and go a little bit deeper into meditation. So take care, and I'll see you then.